Hello, my name is Adam Haziq bin Rohisham. Today I will be explaining the file system and its problems. What is file systems? File system is a process that manages how and where data on a storage disk, typically a hard disk drive, is stored, accessed and managed. It is a logical disk component that manages disk internal operation and it relates to a computer and it's abstract to a human user. File systems were used as a way to store data before database management system or DBMS for short. Simple tasks such as storing, retrieving and searching of data can be done manually. File system functions more simple than DBMS but contains a lot of drawbacks. This is the comparison between a database system and a file system, where you can see in the database system, all the such as the business department, sales department and accounting departments only access the DBMS to have access to every of the information or the datas. But for file system, they have their own separate files and database, such as personal department handles only employees department, the sales department handles customer sales and inventory, and accounting department will only handles the accounts, which will cause a lot of problems, such as there will be a duplicate data and such. I'll explain that later. For structural dependence, a file system exhibits structural dependence, which means that access to a file is dependent on its structure. For example, adding a customer date of birth field to the customer gives this change. Now the previous program will work with the new customer file structure. Therefore, all of the file system program must be modified to confirm the new file structure. So in short, because the file system application programs are affected by its change in file structure, they exhibit that structural dependence. For data dependence, even change in characteristics of data, such as changing a field from integer to decimal, requires changes in all the programs that access the file, because all data access programs are subject to change when any of the file's data storage characteristic change, that is changing data type. The file system is said to exhibit data dependence as well. The drawbacks of file system is data inconsistency, data redundancy, data isolation, data secrecy and also data anomaly. For data redundancy refers to the duplication of data. Let's say we are managing the data of a college where a student is enrolled for 2 courses. The same student details in such case will be stored twice, which will take more storage than needed. Data redundancy often leads to a higher storage cost and poor access time. While for data inconsistency, data redundancy leads to data inconsistency. Let's take the example that we have before. A student is enrolled for 2 courses and we have student access stored twice. Now let's say student requests to change his address. If the address is changed at one place and not all the records, then this can lead to data inconsistency. Data isolation. Because data are scattered in various files and files may be in different formats, writing new application programs to retrieve the appropriate data will be difficult. And data security. Data should be secured from unauthorized access. For example, a student in a college should not be able to see the payroll details of the teachers. Such kind of security concerns are difficult to apply in a file processing system. Data anomalies. Data anomalies are problems that occur in a poorly planned unnormalized database where all the data is stored on one table. There are 3 types of data anomalies, which is update anomalies, insertion anomalies and deletion anomalies. For update anomalies happen when the person changes the task of keeping all the records current and accurate is asked. For example, to change an employee's title due to a promotion, if the data is stored redundantly in the same table and the person misses any of them, then there will be multiple titles associated with the employees. The end user has no way of knowing which title is correct. And then insertion anomaly. Insertion anomaly happen when insertion vital data into the database is not possible because other data is not already there. For example, if a system is designed that requires that a customer be on file before a sale can be made to that customer, but you cannot add a customer until they have bought something, then you have an insertion anomaly. It is the classic catch-22 situation. And then deletion anomalies. Deletion anomalies happen when the deletion of unwanted information causes desired information to be deleted as well. For example, if a single database record contains information about a particular product along with information about a salesperson for the company and the salesperson quits, the information about the product is deleted along with the salesperson information. And that's all for the file processing systems. Thank you for watching the screencast.
Hello, my name is Zaim and I will be presenting the function of DBMS. Okay, now DBMS have 9 functions. The first one is data dictionary management. Data dictionary management is where the DBMS stores definition of data elements and their relationships, or metadata. The DBMS uses this function to look up the required data component structures and relationship. So, when program access data in a database, they are basically going through the DBMS. Next, we have the data storage management. So, this function is primarily used to increase the performance tuning, where it ensures efficient performance on the database in terms of storage and access speed. The third one is data transformation and presentation, where the DBMS transform and enter data to confirm to required data structures. By using the data transformation and presentation function, the DBMS can determine the difference between logical and physical data formats. Continue, we have security management. This is one of the most important functions in the DBMS. Security management set rules that determine specific users that are allowed to access the database. So it enforces user security and data privacy. Next, multi-user access control. It is a sophisticated algorithms ensure that multiple users can access the database concurrently without compromising integrity. And number 6, we have backup and recovery management. It enables recovery of the database after failure, which is really important when you are storing data, since where your data can be lost either through physical damage or corrupted software. Number 7, we have data integrity management, where it minimizes redundancy and maximizes consistency. As we know, redundancy is not recommended, as it provides a harder time of analyzing the data. Number 8, database access languages and application programming interfaces. A query language is a non-procedural language, so it lets the user specify what must be done without having to specify how, and it also uses SQL or structured query language, which is a de facto query language and data access standard supported by the majority of DBMS vendors such as Microsoft Access. And lastly, we have database communication interfaces, where it accepts end user requests via multiple different network environments. And this refers to how a DBMS can accept different end user requests through different network environments. An example of this can be easily related to the internet. And like a DBMS can provide access to the database using the internet through web browsers such as Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Netscape, and that's all.
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Davinson. Now I will introduce about the SQL structured querying language. What is SQL? SQL is a computer language for storing, manipulating, and retrieving data stored in a relational database, and also is the standard language of relational database system. The SQL got a command. First one is DDL. DDL, data division language, actually consists of the SQL command that can be used to refine the data schema. It's simple deal with the description of the database schema and is used to create it and modify the structure of database object in the database. And the second is DML. The SQL command that deal with the manipulation of data present in the database belong the DML, data manipulation language, and this including most of the SQL statement. And the third one is DCL. DCL data control language, including commands such as create and revoker, which mainly deal with the right, permission, and other control of the database system. Number 4 is DQL. DML statements are used for performing queries on the database within schema object. The purpose of DQL data query language command is to get some schema variation based on the query passed to it. Then the last one is TCL. TCL, Transaction Control Language, command deal with the transaction within the database. So that's.
Hi, my name is Lee Wei-en. Today I will guide you on how to use the SQL, which is the structured query language. So first, we want to create a table. So I use a keyword create table, and then the name of your table, and then it's the name of your attributes, ID, and then the data type, integer, and I want to set it as primary key, and then the next attribute, same as just now. So this is our table. So now I want to insert some values inside the table. So insert into the table name, student, values, and then we have to insert the data, the input, according to the order that we create the table. So ID is 1, the student name, student class, and then the CGPA. Don't forget the semicolon. So I continue to insert the data. So I finished insert the data. So now I will create a second table. The second table is teacher. And we have the teacher's name, text, primary key, and then the teacher's class. So same as just now, I want to insert the data about the teacher. Yes. So now we try to retrieve some data. So select the asterisk means all from the table students. Now we can see all the students are listed here. I'm putting some condition on it where CGPA between, let's say, 5 and 4. So these 4 are those who get more than 2.5, and I want to order by CGPA from the lowest to the highest. If you want to reverse it, just type descending. Then it will become from the highest to the lowest. So as you can see, just now the student Jones don't have CGPA. It's not. So let's say I'm gonna update the table. Update the table student. Set CGPA equal to, let's say, 3.3, where the ID of Jones is 6, so 6. Now let's check if the table is already updated. Select all from students. Okay, Jones is now updated, but according to his result, it should be inside this table too. So we move this line before this line. Jones is inside this table again. So let's try some other thing. Let's say I want to show the class that have more than 2 students. Select class from the table student, group by class. Having, the word having must be used with the word group by. Count name bigger than true. Okay, this not showing up. Okay, the typo here. Okay, the only class that have more than 2 students is class B. Select count name as total student, class from student group by class. Okay, now it shows that all the total student for each class. So if I want to show each student's teacher one by one, I have to join both tables together. Select student name, because this name is inside the table student, and then teacher.name. This is teacher's name. So since we select two values from different tables, we have to take it from both table. Teacher. Okay, now it shows all the students with its teacher, where student.class equal to teacher.class. Okay, this is all the students with their own teachers, and that's all. Thank you.